What's going on, everybody? King of Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Infinity War 2-pack Loki and Corvus Glaive. Here we do have Corvus Glaive and Loki in the packaging. What we're going to do now is take a little break, get them opened up, and then we'll have a better look at the two figures inside. So stay tuned, everyone. And so here we have Loki and Corvus Glaive posing out of the packaging. Before we have a look at the figures, let's actually take a look at what they come with. Each of them do come with one accessory. Loki comes with a Tesseract, which is a really nice accessory, and it does fit in his left hand. And then Corvus Glaive comes with his spear, which is a really good accessory. I love the detailing on it. They look great when they're posed with their accessories. And I don't know what else they could have come with. Maybe Loki could have come with a knife. That was pretty iconic, with the knife that he tried to kill Thanos with. But anyway, with that out of the way, let's actually go on to their details. And so here we have a look at Loki, and I have to say, I like the face printing technology on the Marvel Legends figures. It does look really nice, and from some angles, it looks a lot like Tom Hiddleston. But my only problem is, it seems like the face is too small. If it was just a little bit wider, like his eyes seem a little bit too close together. And it doesn't help that the plastic they use on it is really glossy. You can see it has a lot of sheen to it. If you were to hit that with a dull coat, it would probably look better, but then you lose the sheen in the eyes. I don't know why Hasbro can't get the plastics to match their figures. Like, his face is all glossy, but everything else about him is like a matte and satin finish, so why is his face so glossy? I just don't understand. Now, like I said, it does look a lot like the actor, and I do have to say I don't have the original Thor Ragnarok Gladiator Loki, so this is the first time I'm getting this sculpt. It's the exact same figure, but I am glad that he is wearing black. Black and green is what I prefer Loki wearing. You can see they did a really good job painting his shoulder pads. His armbands are also really nicely detailed. You can see he even has some wraps in his hand along with the armor, which everything does look good. His cape is a little to be desired. It does peg in at the top right here. I have it pegged in right now, and his hair kind of holds it together. It does have a tendency to pop out relatively easy, so just be aware of that when you're posing him, that his cape might pop out. Again, really do like the detailing in it, although I don't think this is 100% accurate. The skirt piece might be different. I'd have to go back and see some stills from the movie, but I believe that the skirt piece should not be as long as it is. He actually had a shorter tunic. But like I said, really do love the black and green on this figure. They did a really good job. Just with the overall aesthetics of this figure, even though it's a figure that most people probably have seen before, I still like that they gave us the darker colors and the green with Loki. You can see even his boots have a little bit of detailing. They did a really good job just painting those little rivets. Going on to his boots, which are done really well. So that's Loki for you, so let's actually move on to Corvus Glaive. And so here we have a closer look at Corvus Glaive, and man, did Hasbro do a really awesome job with this figure. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the only error on mine is that his earpieces, these little attachments, are they supposed to be even? Like, I feel like this one's lower than this one. It might be accurate to how it was in the movie, but I seem to recall them being about leveled. Like I said, I might be right, I might be wrong, but I'll have to go back and see. I do love the detailing in Corvus Glaive. I like the fact that they sculpted his hood onto his head, so whenever you move his head, the hood moves with him. So really good job there. Really love the detailing they put on his hood. You can see the gold and the black do really pop together. And that face is a face that only a mother could love. Going on to his cape. I don't know if you want to call this a cape, but we get a lot of nice little detailing in here. You can see all this nice detailing, the gold with the black. It just looks so good. It does come over his arm, and we'll get to that when we go over articulation. but just the amount of detailing in his cape is outstanding. They did a really good job just making his cape look really, really good. And there's just so much detailing in it, it's really hard to like see one thing and focus on that. We have some blacks, some golds, all this line work looks really amazing. And that's not to say that the figure itself isn't amazing. Let's actually pop his head off really fast. Just so you can see, they did sculpt the undersuit. That's really good that Hasbro took the time to actually sculpt his undersuit. You can see they didn't continue the gold paint apps on it, which, you know, seeing as how his cape is going to be over it most of the time, it's nothing that you're going to be noticing a lot. So, again, we have that same detailing going onto his tunic right here. It continues onto the back. Even the back of his outfit has a little bit of gold wash. Not a lot, but it is noticeable. Not as noticeable as it is here on his tunic, which, again, they did a really good job with. His hands have 4 fingers. You can see the 3 fingers and then his thumb. Really like how this one is reaching out and open. Going on to his outfit, you can see they did a good job. Just in general, sculpting all this. Like, they could have easily cheaped out on this figure and just did a flat, no detail body, but they did a really good job on this figure. So I really can't complain too much about it. Even his feet are really nicely detailed. You can see he only has 4 toes. So overall, really do like the way Corvus Glaive came out. There's just so much to see on this figure and so much to love about it. So what I'm actually going to do now is take a little break, get him posed to a few other figures you guys may have in your collection. So sit tight, everyone. Here we have Loki posed next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops and a DC Multiverse Superman. Here we have Loki posed next to a WWE Elite Scale figure and a Mezco 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. And for a final comparison, here we have Loki posed next to the Infinity War Thor. And so here we have Corvus Glaive posed next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops and a DC Multiverse Superman. Here we have Corvus Glaive posed next to a WWE Elite Scale figure and a Mezco 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. And finally, here we have Corvus Glaive posed next to the Infinity War Marvel Legends Proxima Midnight. So with the comparisons out of the way, let's actually run through their articulation. Let's actually have a look at Loki's articulation first. Loki does have a ball joint in the head. We do get some up and down movement. We have some side pivot, although it's not a lot. We do have rotation here at the ball joint. He does have a hinge in the neck, which is kind of stiff. And I do worry because the way they designed Loki is that his neck is actually a separate piece that's pegged in. So when you're moving this joint, you might actually break the neck off, so do be careful when moving this joint around. If you have to, heat that up a little bit. Let's go ahead and take his cape off really fast. So do be aware when moving his head that the neck is a separate piece. Arms do go out to about there. They are hindered a little bit by the armor. They do rotate all the way around, have a bicep swivel. Loki is double jointed in the elbow, almost touches his shoulder. He does have rotation and a hinge in the hand. He does have a really good ab crunch, which goes all the way back, all the way forward. It looks good from the front, but from the back, not so much. He does have a swivel in the waist. Legs do go forward to about there, but it does raise his tunic up, so be aware of that. They go out. Again, will raise the tunic up. Swivel at the thigh. Double bend in the knee. No issues there. No boot swivel, but we do have a hinge in the ankle which goes back and forward, and then forward facing pin for rocker ankle. So Loki has a pretty good amount of articulation for a Marvel Legends figure. So on to Corvus Glaive, who has a surprising amount of detail to him, and I think I like his a little better. He does have a ball joint in the neck which goes back about that far, goes forward. Oh, he goes forward quite a bit. I wasn't expecting that. We don't get any head tilt, but we do have left and right rotation. Again, his head is on a hinge. Arms do go out only to about there for the left side, and for the right side, only about that far. His left arm goes out that far, goes back that much. Right arm goes forward that much, goes back that much. Again, we do have some hindered articulation because of his cape. He does rotate at the bicep. He is double jointed in the elbow, giving us really good range there. He does have a swivel and a hinge in the wrist. He has a ball joint in the torso so we get side to side lean. He goes back about that far, comes forward about that far, rotation right there. He also does have rotation right here at the waist. Legs kick forward about that far. Do have to be careful because his tunic also rides up, goes back, not that far, goes out surprisingly quite a bit for a Marvel Legends figure. That's actually a lot of outward movement. He does have a swivel at the thigh, double bend in the knee. He has a hinge in the foot which goes forward like that, goes back. And then he does have a forward-facing pin for rocker ankle, although it's not the best that we've seen, but he still has it, so I'm glad that they did include it. So that's their articulation for you. So what I'm going to do now is get them posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have Loki and Corvus Glaive posed for my final thoughts. Overall, I really do like the way this set came out. If you don't have the Loki from the Thor Ragnarok wave, I think this is a really good pickup, especially if you're like me who completely avoided the Gladiator Hulk wave, and now I finally have a Loki in my collection. And having Corvus Glaive in my collection puts me one step closer to completing the Black Order, so he's a really nice figure, even by himself. They could have released Corvus Glaive as an individual figure, and I still would have picked him up. Loki, on the other hand, I'm still glad I have a Loki in my collection. I would have probably picked him up if he was an individual figure as well. But seeing as how this is a 2-pack, you're going to have to get both of them if you want one or the other. And this is an exclusive set to Walmart. So if you are looking for Loki and Corvus Glaive, you do have to track them down at your local Walmarts. I was actually lucky enough to find mine at my first go. I was actually looking for WWE figures when I stumbled onto Loki and Corvus Glaive, so I'm really glad I was able to pick them up. This set is going to run you about $40 before tax, so you are looking to pay at least $45 after taxes, which is still a pretty good price, seeing as how you're paying about $20 each figure. It actually balances itself out. With that being said, guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, go check out all my other action figure reviews as well as all my other Marvel Legend videos. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you would like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it fits in my collection, I'll definitely take a look at it. And as always, check out my Instagram for new and exciting action figure photos. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.